Every face tells a unique story, but for some, that story is defined by challenges that most of us cannot imagine. We live in a world obsessed with conventional beauty, where difference is often met with fear or judgment. Yet, the individuals we are about to meet today are redefining what beauty means. They were born with or developed facial conditions so rare they often baffle medicine. These are stories of incessant operations, the fight against prejudice, and above all, the incredible strength of the human spirit that refuses to be defined by its appearance. Prepare to be inspired by these extraordinary human beings. Number 8, Nathan, the syndrome without a name. Nathan's story is a mystery to the medical world. Born with a facial deformation so unique it has never received an official name, his family simply calls it the Nuss syndrome. From the 12-week ultrasound, his parents knew the journey would be difficult. Nathan is a survivor, having undergone 37 major surgical interventions to reconstruct the structure of his face, a medical odyssey that has cost well over $1 million. The complexity of his condition is striking. While his left side is entirely normal, the right side presents severe anomalies, notably the absence of the development of the nose and the jaw. Surgeons had to use bone grafts taken from his ribs to create a nasal structure and a jawline. In addition to these reconstructions, Nathan has a prosthetic eye that he must clean daily. Despite the extent of his physical challenges, Nathan's attitude is incredibly positive. He is the first to joke about his prosthetic eye, a tool he uses to downplay his difference and make children laugh. And he admits that his appearance may have affected his past relationships, particularly with young women. However, he has learned to value what is on the inside, and those around him describe him as a determined leader succeeding in his studies. For Nathan, his face is not a burden, but the very essence of who he is. He asserts that he would not change anything about his appearance, convinced that everything happens for a reason. Number 7, Taylor, the Mobius fight and athletic excellence. Taylor was born with Mobius syndrome, an extremely rare neurological condition characterized by facial paralysis, preventing her from smiling or moving her eyes laterally. She was also born with lower extremity deformities, clubfoot. At the age of 11 or 12, she underwent invasive surgery in the hope of enabling her to smile, an attempt that was unfortunately unsuccessful and deeply painful emotionally. This difference made her the target of brutal harassment during her childhood. She was pushed, her bag was snatched, and she endured physical humiliation, which destroyed her self-confidence. Taylor spent years wondering why she couldn't be accepted like others. Her journey to self-acceptance began around the age of 20. The turning point came in 2017, when she was contacted by the Auckland Paralympic body. Although she could not run, she tried shot put. Her initial performances were staggering. She broke the New Zealand record in her classification and quickly became the world number 1 in her discipline. Sport brought her immense discipline and strength, not only physical, but mental. Today, Taylor is a confident, sarcastic, and 100% authentic woman who uses platforms like TikTok to poke fun at herself and inspire others. She now considers the inability to smile not as a weakness, but as her superpower, having found her calling in empowering others. Number 6, Amari, living with neurofibromatosis. Type 1, NF1. Amari, 13, faces one of the most severe forms of neurofibromatosis. Type 1, NF1, an incurable disease that causes tumor growth all over the body. For Amari, these tumors have massively affected his face, skeleton, and nervous system. His mother, who knew during pregnancy that there was a 50-50 chance he would have the condition, watched the growths become increasingly visible with age. The functional consequences of NF1 are dramatic for Amari. His vision is extremely limited. He can barely see out of his right eye, which is partially covered by tumors, and he is blind in his left eye. Although he loves soccer, his physical limitations prevent him from playing like other children. The biggest challenge is public judgment. Amari is protected by his family and cousins, but one incident deeply affected his mother. During a visit to the park, other children told him he looked like a monster. This prevented Amari from returning to that park. Despite these difficulties, Amari does not behave as if he were sick. He is enthusiastic and full of life. His mother constantly fights to give him the best possible quality of life, organizing numerous medical appointments and continuously seeking solutions. Amari has already received chemotherapy treatments to try to slow the tumor growth, and his family hopes that medical research will one day find a complete cure. Number 5, Tina, the choice of absence, rhinectomy. Tina's story is one of acquired difference. Diagnosed with stage 2 nasal cancer in May 2014, she faced a terrifying choice. Radiation therapy carried extreme risks to her eyesight, brain, and ability to eat. To maximize her chances of cancer-free survival, she chose the most radical option: complete rhinectomy, the total removal of her nose. The doctors, acknowledging that she was an attractive young woman, feared permanently disfiguring her. Tina responded that beauty didn't matter if she wasn't alive to enjoy it. Before the final operation, she remembers holding her children, deeply inhaling their scent, fearing she would never be able to smell them again. Her youngest son's reaction upon seeing her face without a bandage was devastating, making him tremble and ask to see the pediatrician to fix her nose. Tina used humor to navigate these moments, telling her children that if people stared, it was because they were trying to figure out how she could look so good without a nose. After surgery, Tina received a nasal prosthesis. She wore it for about 2 years, but she disliked the look, the irritation caused by the glue, and the feeling of emotional suffocation it gave her. One day, she decided to stop. She chose not to conform to society's expectations. For Tina, the greatest beauty lies in being alive, and she now inspires others with her bravery to break the box of beauty standards. Number 4, Tessa, 3D reconstruction and BAM syndrome. Tessa is one of only 100 people worldwide born with BAM syndrome, or congenital arrhythmia, meaning she was born without a nose. The absence of a nose means the absence of upper respiratory tracts and the absence of the part of the brain that processes smell. The birth was a shock to her parents, as the absence of a nose had not been detected during standard ultrasounds. At only 8 days old, she had a tracheotomy inserted to help her breathe, a care routine she maintains today. She breathed through her mouth and trachea, using a speaking valve on the trachea to speak louder. Tessa was the first person in the world to receive a nose created using 3D printing technology. The process was long and fraught with pitfalls. A first implant, inserted at age 2, was replaced by a larger one at age 4. But this led to infections and scarring problems. Surgeons ultimately had to remove this implant. Today, Tessa is awaiting a new reconstruction attempt. Consultations with specialists in Armand Street in London are optimistic, aiming to use fat grafting and a new, more stable implant. Tessa is impatient, stating that the first thing she will do with her new nose is put on her glasses. Despite the setbacks, she radiates immense joy and proves that her condition will never prevent her from doing anything. Number 3, Jacqueline, beyond the voice. Jacqueline Rodriguez was born in 2001 with lymphatic malformations, clusters of abnormal cells in her lymph nodes that proliferated in her cheeks, tongue, and the floor of her mouth. From the pregnancy, doctors gave a grim prognosis, not expecting her to live past her first birthday, even offering her parents the choice to terminate the pregnancy. They chose life. The malformation severely affected her ability to swallow and speak. For a time, she had to be fed via a gastric tube. Thanks to hard work, she was able to relax the tissues enough to swallow. However, the tumors damaged her vocal cords, rendering her unable to speak. Jacqueline communicates using an iPad equipped with a speech synthesis program, allowing her to express her thoughts and sharp wit. Despite these obstacles, Jacqueline is a fulfilled teenager. She has found passions that do not require speech. She loves playing the guitar and excels at tennis. Tennis has been crucial for her self-esteem, proving her physical strength and her belonging to a team. Her teammates and family constantly encourage her, seeing her as an example of determination. Inspired by the care she received, Jacqueline aspires to become a nurse, wanting to help others as she was helped. Her journey is a powerful demonstration that physical limitations do not define a person's potential. Number 2, Nick, accepting his flaps. Nick developed a form of neurofibromatosis, type 1, NF1, that manifested mainly as fibrous growths, which he calls his flaps. He began to notice his condition around the age of 7 or 8. These plexiform masses are aggregates of nerves and fibers that cover important parts of his face. Instead of hiding, Nick embraced his difference. He became famous on TikTok by answering public questions with humor. One of the most common questions is, "How do you shave?" To which he explains that the flaps are soft and malleable, making careful shaving possible. Nick has adopted a unique and positive perspective on his condition. He sees his flaps as a utilitarian tool. He jokes by showing how he can insert a ping pong ball into the folds of skin on his face without issue. He is supported by his younger brother, who has always been a protective rock. Although Nick is awaiting a very important surgery, the most extensive to date, he has a philosophical approach. The operation is primarily aimed at removing weight and contributing to NF1 research. However, he insists that he would never take the option of having everything removed, as the condition is an integral part of his identity. Number 1, the moment of unforeseen cases. Born with a rare condition, this little one came into the world different, yet bright. Every curious gaze became an adventure for him. Surrounded by love, he learned to smile above all. His courage transformed silences into hope and reminded everyone that beauty takes 1,000 forms. These 8 stories teach us that resilience transcends physical appearance. From the quest for healing to full self-acceptance, these individuals have transformed their rare conditions into powerful sources of inspiration. They remind us that true beauty lies in the strength of character and in the way we choose to live our truth.